Well, all right. Welcome to day 3 of the 5 days of you. Today, we're going to be putting days 1 and 2 all together as we dive into finding your life purpose. Now, I realize that all this, who am I and what are my passions and what's my purpose, it can all be a bit overwhelming. And quite frankly, you may be thinking, hey, I just want to succeed. And why do we have to go through all this stuff? Well, the bottom line is that success is no different than any other skill. And if we duplicate the actions and the mindsets of those people that are successful, which is what we do here at A to B for me, then you have a much better chance of creating success for yourself. And the bottom line is successful people do this. So they do it. So we're going to do it. So let's just go ahead and get started. And we're going to get started today with a question. And the question is, do you ever wonder why you're here? A lot of people are like, I mean, sometimes you just go around in circles. You go, dude, what am I here? You're looking up at heavens. Why am I here? But after all, you were created with a unique set of passions and talents that no one else in the world can duplicate. You have some special gifts from God, and discovering your purpose in life lets you use your unique assortment of feelings and abilities and special gifts to bring you greater self-fulfillment and also to help other people that are around you. And that will make you successful. I guarantee if you just take the eye off of you for a little bit and start concentrating on all the people that you can help and assist, it's going to make success a lot easier for you. Well, and what we're talking about is when you're doing what you feel like you must have been born to do, you can create a life you enjoy through and through. Now, your goals are going to have more meaning to you, and challenges will be naturally easier to overcome as you joyfully move towards achieving those goals. And we're going to talk a lot about goals tomorrow, a lot more about them. And we're going to talk about our mission tomorrow as well. So we're going to get to goals. We're getting there. That's what day 4 is all about. But this process of finding your life purpose enables you to tune in to your inner self and figure out what makes you tick. And like I said, it's so important to know what your core values are so you can align those with your goals. So you want to take the time to find out your purpose. Your life will certainly change for the better when we do, because everything's going to be logical. Everything is going to make sense. But I want you to prepare yourself, because for this process, an open mind is optional, but I'll tell you what is helpful. If you have an open mind, it doesn't matter if you don't think it'll work. It just means it's going to take a lot longer, not a little longer, a lot longer for you to get this stuff straight. So have an open mind and decide that this is going to work. Because all you really must have to get this done today for you and help you out is a piece of paper, something to write with, and approximately an hour of peace and quiet. Again, you're going to be able to review this slideshow, and I'm going to have the PDF for you available as well. That's all you really need to get this process going for you today. It's a piece of paper, something to write with, and about an hour of peace and quiet. Okay. Now, as you're doing these exercises, try to empty your mind as much as possible. The clearer your mind is, the quicker and easier the process will be. So you might even want to do maybe just a little bit of meditation or something, just get your mind clear as you go into this. And also do this while you're relaxed and alone and unlikely to be disturbed. So a lot of times at the end of the year, we'll just go snag a hotel room or something, just get away, take a little sabbatical, and get all this stuff figured out again. Because, like I said, this isn't a one and done. I said this yesterday. It's a process that is continually changing for you because you're growing, and as you grow, your passions may change with it. Well, let's talk about what the process is. Okay. Well, number one, what we want to do is focus on your intention. So right at the top of your paper, you want to put, this is my life purpose. Okay. And I know it sounds kind of goofy, but this simple act sets your intention in your mind for the next hour. It's just like when we're talking about affirmations and we talk about goals, reading those things out loud, seeing these things, it gets the mindset. So it says, oh, okay, that's what we're doing now. Okay, I'm in, right? So this is my life purpose at the top of the page. Second thing, you want to begin listing your thoughts, even doubts about this process. So just start writing. Just start writing. And as you clear your mind and focus on this process, write whatever comes to your mind, no matter what it is. Even if you think to yourself, this isn't going to work, then write down, this isn't going to work, because you want to get everything out of your mind, everything on paper. I know it sounds goofy, but we're getting there, and you'll understand why we're doing all this in a little bit. Now, the purpose here is we also, when you want to brainstorm, and I'm going to go through a list of questions here in a little bit, and answering these questions are going to get you started with all this process. Then I don't want you to just keep writing your full thoughts until you find your life purpose. Okay. Now, the first question we're going to ask is, what are your talents and abilities? Kind of important. You want to align your goals and everything with what your talents and abilities are. Now, if you want to be something totally different, then you're going to have to go in and have a new skill set, and redefine and relearn some talents and abilities. And if that's what you want to do, if that is your desire and your destiny, then you need to work on that as well. But you need to find out, what are your talents and abilities, because your life purpose is going to center around those. And which talents would you like to develop further? I mean, you may have some that you've done a little bit on, but they just need to be a lot better. And ask yourself, why? Why do I think I need to develop these further? So, of these talents that you've listed and these abilities, which of them do you feel like you need to develop further? And tell yourself why. Tell your brain why you need to develop those further. Again, take some time on this. We're going through this quick, so you're going to have to go back, like I said, grab the PDF at the end of this, or go back through the slideshow again. Now, what are your passions? Now, this one ought to be kind of easy, because we went over this yesterday and kind of started on it Monday, but we went over the process. So hopefully you have a little bit more clarity regarding your passions. And if not, just go back and review the PowerPoints from Monday and Tuesday, and let's get your passions down. Because remember, I told you, day one, we started day two, grows on day two, grows on day one, and day three is going to grow on day one and two. And guess what's going to happen tomorrow? This is going to be based on days 1, 2, and 3. So this is a process, but hopefully you got a pretty good idea of what your passions are. Now, do you get joy from helping others? It's a huge key on what your purpose in life is going to be. If you don't like helping people, well, you got to figure something else out. You know, I mean, maybe we'll talk about animals in a little bit. There's a cat behind there, but if you do get joy from helping others, who do you enjoy helping? And get that list down there, because that's really going to help you define your life purpose. So, do you get a joy from helping others? And if so, hopefully it's a yes. Then who? But maybe not. You know, I don't know. It's your life purpose, not mine. Have you always wanted to be a philanthropist? Do you like helping people? You like to, whether it's your time or your talent, or whether it's your money? Do you like helping people, like fulfilling charitable goals, these types of things? So just answer that question. Have you always wanted to be a philanthropist, or maybe you don't care about that? Okay. Let's hope, going back through. Don't want to skip this one. What activities do you enjoy? Because there's one of my favorite. I love scuba. But what activities do you enjoy? Because that could help you define your life purpose. It might be something strongly related to what you do. I know one of my charities that I get involved with is First Tee, and it has to do with youth, which is one of my passions, helping youth. I was a scout leader for 17 some years, but I like helping youth, and I like golf. So putting those two together, golf and youth, First Tee works. So think about those things. What activities do you like? And do you like help people? You put those two together, and boom. And it also is charitable. So I'm knocking out 3 good things at one time. So think about these things as you're looking at them, because you can tie them all together. What have you always wanted to do but you haven't done yet? This is a big one, because a lot of times that's a big part of your frustration. It's just that in your gut or in the back of your mind saying, I don't know what I'm doing. This is what I really want to do. So just decide, what have you always wanted to do but you haven't done it yet. You just haven't got around to it. So write that down. Let's figure that out for yourself. Now, who do you most enjoy being around? I mean, do you enjoy being around adults, or do you enjoy being around children? And if you like being around children, what ages and why? Going back to scouting, it was so funny when I first started in scouting. It was when my kids were smaller, so I enjoyed being around the small kids. And so we were in Cub Scouts together. I was just a Cub Scout leader, this, that, and the other, and then as they progressed, well, kind of so did I. And at that point, I'd go out with the older boys, and they were all, going through puberty and changing things, and then they were, come up with all this stuff, and I go on camp outs with them, and I'd be like, well, I can't stand these kids; they're all a bunch of jerks, but as my kids grew up and I guess turned into jerks, I liked being with the older children, uh, and then I couldn't stand the little ones being around, right? So you kind of change. And I never could stand around being around the adults, but it was just one of the things. Right? Just kidding. I love the leaders as well. So, but you got to decide, where are you very comfortable? A lot of folks are very comfortable with the elderly and helping out the elderly. Some want to work with young adults, like college age, to help them succeed early. And again, like I said, maybe it's children, but you got to know who, and you got to know why. So think about those things. Talked about this a minute ago. Do you love animals? I'm not talking about Tiger King. I'm talking about, do you love animals, right? Yeah, I mean, that might be your passion. That might be what you love doing, just hanging out and you're doing, zoology or helping out at the SPCA or something. If you love animals, maybe that's part of your life purpose. Do you like to travel? I love to travel. And so, anything that I'm going to do, I want to include some travel in it. So, speaking and doing all these things, going around to different parts of the country and different parts of the world, and doing speaking is great. So, travel fits right in line with what I love to do. So, do you like to travel? If not, of course, we have this, right? Kind of got this forced on us a little bit here in 2020, but we have this, so you can still travel via the web. Do you want more excitement in your life? Well, some of you do, some of you don't. Some of you've already had all the excitement you can stand in your life, and you want to settle down a little bit. But some of you want a little bit more excitement, or you want to get that excitement back. And it changes. Like I said, over time, you grow, things change, perspectives change, maybe partners change. Do you want more excitement in your life? So think about it, consider that. Let's talk about, what are your favorite books or movies, and why. Whatever you're reading and whatever you're watching, maybe there's a reason why you're doing that. Maybe not. Maybe you're just wasting your time. But you got to figure out, what are your favorite books and movies. Now, I would tell you this: if you start, reading the right kind of books, and that perspective will change. But look at our list up at A to B for me, and maybe start working on a few of those. And I bet if you're in day 3 of this, you're thinking about this process. So you're probably going to look at some of the books from some of the thought leaders out there. So think about that. But right now, what are your favorite books and movies? And you got to ask yourself why. And another question you might ask yourself is, what's the purpose of me doing these things, or spend so much time with this particular genre? So think about that. Uh, how do you feel about your relationships? Kind of touched on that just a minute ago, but how do you feel about your relationship? Not just your spouse or your significant other, but your family. How do you feel about all those relationships? Are there some things in there that we need to work on? That'll be all part of your life purpose, things that you need to get in line, right? Let's talk about the kind of hot topic right now. Do you take an interest in politics or world matters? Uh, it seems like every celebrity in the world has their own world matter, right? But maybe there's some things that you're really passionate about. Maybe you're interested in politics. Maybe you're the one can help us change in positive direction. So, do you take an interest in this? If it is, then maybe there's a lot of purpose in that area for you as well. And remember, we're not just talking about money. Okay, every time every time I talk about success, I think everybody always sees all those S's as dollar signs. And we're not just talking about money here. There's a lot of different areas of success. And we want to talk about your physical, your mental, your relationships, of course, your financial, your career, but your spiritual, and I said mental and clarity and social and all these different things. So there's a lot of different areas, goal areas that you want to look at. And your purpose in each of these areas might be a little bit different. So you want to find your purpose and kind of define it all together. Now let's look at what is your most important priority in life? Is it family, or is it work, or is it something else? And these things change as we grow. When you're very, very young, it's probably just work. Man, I got to get in here and be successful before I can start thinking about raising a family, right? Well, maybe you got married early, and it's family, and work kind of got put on the back burner. Maybe that shifted a little bit, but everybody talks about work-life balance. But I'll tell you what, if you're successful and you've done your deal. I mean, you want to be sure that you're successful in all your different areas. So you want to be successful at work, be successful in your family, and whatever the something else is. So decide what is your most important priority in your life. It may not be your family or work. It might be something totally different. And so then you got to ask yourself the question, well, then what am I doing? I'm not spending my time where my passion is. So let's look at the bottom line is, how are you going to know? How are you going to know when you come across your life purpose? And the answer is you're just going to know. Yeah, you're going to get this tingle. You're going to get this feeling. You're going to get this aha. Everybody talks about aha moments, right? You're going to get that aha. And it'll be the answer that fills you with the most emotion as you're going through. Yeah, I know it's a little fuzzy there. That picture when you first start, it's just not in focus. But you're getting there. But when you find it, I mean, you might even cry. I mean, oh my God, this is what I really want to do. So you might even cry. I mean, even us big old tough guys, the testosterone kind of drips out sometimes. So you might even cry when you get into this. But the idea is going to resonate with you completely, and there's just not going to be any doubt. When you find it, when you nail on it, there's not going to be any doubt at all. But just continue writing whatever comes into your mind until you reach that point. And again, this isn't a one and done. This isn't. Maybe it's more than an hour. Maybe you work it one for an hour and you come back to it. But the point is, get involved in the process for you, because this is so important for you going forward. So really, really get into this thing. Now, some things commonly, answers will repeat themselves. So as you're going through this and you're looking at all the things that you're answering, the answers are going to repeat themselves. So that'll help you align some of your life purpose. A lot of unrelated nonsense is also likely to come out, and that's good too, because you want to get it all out. You're just writing, just keep writing. But our brains can be a little cluttered, and this exercise is it's going to expose that fact, because you got all this stuff up in here, and you want to do a brain dump and get all this stuff on that paper. But don't let anything you write distract you from your intentions. Just what you're look at the top of the page again. What is my life purpose? That's your intention. So you can write these things down, just get them out of your head. It's kind of like when you're meditating. All this stuff's coming into your head, and sometimes you maybe have to repeat a phrase to get you back on track. So when all these things are coming through, you can write them down, get them out of your brain. And if it's something that you need to do today, maybe do it separate, post-it note, or get you some highlighters and start highlighting. What's red is my passion, or green is what I need to do today, or something. But don't let it distract you from your intentions. Odd things are going to quite frequently end up on the paper, and I subscribe to the fact that there's not a lot of coincidences. I mean, if things are on there, they're probably on there for a reason. So just don't fight it. Just go with it, and it's going to help you in this process. Now, there will be several answers along the path that you feel pretty good. They feel, oh yeah, this is right. But remember, we're not looking for pretty good. We're looking for the big one. So as you go through here and you're going through this, you're hitting this wall and coming back and doing this other, we're looking for the big one. You put all the good ones in a column, and we'll go through the good ones and decide which one's the big one. But when you see the ones that are good, but it's just not it, this means you're getting close. But you're just not quite there yet. But it feels so good to get this progress started, and they start seeing this whole plan develop for yourself. Now, the bottom line is you're not looking for the one idea that feels overwhelming to you. So don't get in there and get something that just is just going to throw you back because, oh my God, I can't do this. This exercise is common for your life purpose to reveal itself in less than 100 ideas. And you say, oh my God, 100 ideas. Well, I could take as many as 400. So as you go through here and you're writing it, this is important. I mean, think about it. I mean, it'll start to get more clear as you go. But I'm telling you, just keep writing and go through this process. Ask yourself these questions, and it'll come to you. And like I said, when it does come to you, it'll just be like, oh, this light's coming down from heaven on you. So just keep writing, and I promise you, it'll work for you. Now, when you do get it, you got to say, well, how can I apply my life purpose to benefit me? So that's a very, very good question. But now when you discovered your purpose, you always want to try and honor it. So to do so, you want to keep it in your mind consistently. And how do you do that? Well, I've talked many times about the Phoenix Journal A to B. For me, I love the Phoenix Journal because in there I can consistently read every day about what my life purpose is, why I'm here, what I'm going to do the next 12 weeks, what I'm going to do the next year, what I'm going to do the next 2 to 5 years, what do I want? So you got to keep it in your mind consistently through reading it and reviewing it every single day, going through your affirmations every single day. And you got to ask yourself consistently, is this in alignment with my ultimate purpose? So, I mean, if you have an ultimate purpose and the thing you're doing now is going away from that, then you have to go back and kind of reset and say, okay, how am I going to get to what I really want? Now, there might be a reason why you're going on a tangent, because you have to get there. Success isn't always a straight shot. Sometimes we got that maze we got to live to. But a life lived like this with direction and intentionality is a life that you can truly enjoy. So the more that you review it, the more that you realize that you do have a plan, the better you're going to feel. And you're going to want to work at. You're going to want to get up. A lot of times you just don't even want to get out of bed because you don't have any direction. But when you have this plan put in place, and as we go through tomorrow and go through goals and mission and go through Friday about just keeping it going, then you're going to be excited to get up in the morning and get rolling. And you're really going to be kind of bummed when you look at the clock and say, oh man, I got to do something else, because you want to make sure that you get what you're excited about doing. So, but once you get this in here, again, direction and intentionality, then you're going to really, really be able to enjoy life. But here's what I want to talk about today. Just don't wait any longer. Schedule time to do this when you know you're going to have some peace and quiet. Just go ahead and schedule it. Get out your planner, figure out a time, get it done, and you put a sign on your door, or tell your folks, or tell your family, or tell whoever, you guys got to leave me alone, or just go somewhere else. Find you a pier, find you a mountain, find you a park, find you something. Get out there and find you some peace and quiet, and get your pad and get your pen and get this going. Because knowing the core reason you're here is one of the greatest gifts you could ever give yourself. I mean, once you have this and you know why you're here, I tell you, it's an awesome feeling, and it's an awesome gift. Now, as we go through this, we're talking about the A to B for me strategy here at A to B, and we're talking about now is thoughts. You want to get to your destiny. So, but there's a lot of things we have to go through here. You've been going through life here, and you've been living, but you just been living. You had ups and downs, and your heart's beating, but nothing's happening. But what we've done over that first couple of days here is we want to get your thoughts working for you, because if you don't have your thoughts right, and and get it all written down and be concise and know exactly what you need and believe in it. That's the main, you got to believe in it. Then you're not going to be able to take action, because when you start taking actions, if your thoughts aren't strong and aren't dominant and aren't backing you, then you're going to lose interest and you're not going to act anymore. So we got to have our thoughts right. And that's what this is about this week. And we're starting some action. And our actions are what we're doing today, writing this stuff down, getting it going, getting our affirmations tomorrow, doing our goals. And then we're going to find out that there may be some habits that we need to change. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. We in Deep Dive to Destiny, we go into habit change big time with Atomic Habits. But habits, they have to change, or maybe they have to be modified, or maybe you got to get rid of some of those habits, right? To get you up to character, because once you get your thoughts and your actions and your habits all in line, that's character. You have built your character. And once you have your character formed and that life purpose formed, and you got your goals, you know your direction, then destiny is just a hop, skip, and a jump away. And we're not talking about ultimate, we're talking about in each of these areas, you have to be thinking these things. So it's always thoughts first: action, habit, character, and destiny. And do they get easier? Well, yeah, action's a lot easier when you've gone through that foundation of thoughts and got it on your side, right? And your habits are going to be a lot easier to change if you've got your thoughts and your actions in place. So think about that, and let's get this thing going for yourself. Now, when we look at what we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to talk about what's your mission. And we're going to piggyback on some of what we went over today, because what's your mission has a lot to do with your life purpose. Because it's just like a company we're talking about tomorrow. Companies have mission statements, so you need to know what's your mission. And then we're also going to talk about SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. We're going to talk about those tomorrow, setting those and getting those going for the new year. But so we've got a lot to do. I know you got you've been busy. I know you have Monday and Tuesday, or day one and day two, whatever days you're doing, don't matter when you're doing it. Day three, today, you got a lot to do. But come back to me tomorrow, and we'll end this thing up with what's your mission and what are your goals tomorrow. And then Friday, or day five, we're going to be going into how to keep all this together and wrapping it all up and just making sure that everything goes well for you. But anyway, get to work. You got a lot to do, and I know it can be confusing, but as always, you got this. You got this. But until then, till tomorrow, just keep moving in the direction of your dreams. We'll talk to you later.